Good morning. Here is the news at 11 on Premier 93.5 FM Ibadan from the stable of Radio Nigeria. First, the headlines. Federal government unveils a medical emergency call center in Cross River. UNICEF demands immediate release of abducted Kebbi schoolgirls. Coming from the foreign since Russia strikes killed 9 in Ukraine. What's happened this day in history? Find out in our Lest We Forget segment. And heart of the matter today is on sanitation in a changing world. Remember to track us on www.radionigeriaibadan.gov.ng. We are also on X and Instagram at PFM935. You can also watch us live on Facebook at Premier FM 93.5. I am Feji Shara Owomoyela with the details. The federal government has launched an emergency call center and ambulance system to provide prompt and efficient emergency medical services to residents, particularly in cases of flooding, fire outbreaks, and road accidents and other emergencies in Cross River. The coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Pate, was represented by Programs Manager of the National Emergency Medical Service and Ambulance System, Dr. Dubra Emuren, made the launch during a flag-off ceremony in Calabar. Professor Pate said the initiative is aimed at providing emergency medical services to Nigerians, especially the poor and vulnerable. He added that the Emergency Medical Treatment Gateway is one of the gateways within the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund under the National Health Act. The United Nations Population Fund has emphasized the need for political will, socio-cultural reforms, women's empowerment, and stronger health systems to reduce maternal and neonatal deaths in Nigeria. According to UNFPA, addressing health financing gaps, strengthening data and accountability mechanisms, and enhancing community engagement are also critical to crushing Nigeria's high maternal and neonatal mortality rate. Technical specialist for reproductive and maternal health at UNFPA Nigeria, Dr. Lordfred Achu, said this at the ongoing 66th National Council on Health. Speaking on the critical missing link in crushing maternal and neonatal mortality in Nigeria, Dr. Achu stated that persistent issues such as inadequate health infrastructure, shortages of skilled personnel, and poor intersectoral coordination continue to impede maternal health progress. As the world marks World Toilet Day, traders in major markets in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, have raised alarm over poor sanitation in the markets. The traders made the call while speaking with Radio Nigeria, and this year's celebration appealed to relevant agencies to provide functional toilet facilities for both buyers and sellers. During a visit to Kuto, Omida, Itoku, Ojagbangba and Adato markets, all in Abeokuta, some of the traders, including Mr. Joseph Adeniyi and Mrs. Adenike Shogbaike, explained that they usually use containers to urinate and defecate in a corner of their shops. In a separate interviews, the Babaloja of Kuto Market, Elder Abraham Olabinke, and Iyaloja Itoku Market, Mrs. Olufumilola Yorinde, maintained that a lack of toilet facilities in markets needed urgent government intervention.
It is true the local government did not give priority to our welfare in the market. If they want to collect money, they will come and disturb us.
No toilet at all in Itoku Market. They usually use nylon to urinate and throw it into the drainage channel.
In a reaction, the State Commissioner for Environment, Mr. Olaore Sonya, said the ministry would work with the State Water Corporation as well as the Ministry of Special Duties to ensure stable water supply in all the toilets in modern markets across the state. In today's Heart of the Matter, an intern from the Polytechnic Ibadan Omowumi Abdulaziz writes on sanitation in a changing world as World Toilet Day is marked.
World Toilet Day is an official United Nations international observance held every 19th November to inspire action against the global sanitation crisis. The first day was established unofficially in 2001 by the World Toilet Organization and officially became a United Nations Day in 2013 when the UN General Assembly adopted a resolution to observe World Toilet Day every year. The day is to raise awareness that billions of people still lack safely managed sanitation, practice open defecation, and promote the human right to sanitation and improve public health, dignity, and safety. In November 2024, Vice President Kashim Shettima represented President Bola Tinubu and officially launched a revised strategic plan for the Clean Nigeria campaign to accelerate progress towards the new national target of eradicating open defecation by 2030, an extension from the original 2025 goal. The administration demonstrates high-level political support, with the Vice President chairing the Clean Nigeria Campaign Steering Committee. The campaign is implemented across various states with activities including the launch of state-specific open defecation-free roadmaps and campaigns such as the Use the Toilet campaign. The initiative goes beyond awareness to include efforts to mandate the construction of accessible and hygienic public toilets and enforce sanitation regulations. Therefore, the federal government works in collaboration with development partners such as UNICEF, the World Bank, and local communities to achieve these sanitation goals in Nigeria. This is to support Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) and encourage governments, organizations, and individuals to act. About 3.5 billion people worldwide have access to safely managed sanitation, while 419 million still practice open defecation. Unsafe sanitation causes disease such as cholera, typhoid, and diarrhea, leading to the deaths of about 1,000 children under 5 each day. Women and girls are disproportionately affected, facing safety and privacy. The theme for this year's World Toilet Day is "We Will Always Need the Toilet," a campaign that highlights the ongoing need for safely managed sanitation in the face of growing challenges like climate change, population growth, and aging infrastructure. This theme calls for urgent action to invest in future-ready, resilient sanitation systems and ensure everyone has access to safe and inclusive sanitation as a human right. It is pertinent to urge universal access to clean water and sanitation by 2030. It is important to include local cleanliness drives or volunteer with sanitation NGOs for proper hygiene. Individuals, particularly in the rural areas, should avoid open defecation, which is capable of causing epidemics. To this end, government should construct toilets in all public places like markets, motor parks, and highly populated areas for the use of the people.
That script on sanitation in a changing world as World Toilet Day is marked was written by an intern from the Polytechnic Ibadan, Omowumi Abdulaziz, and delivered from our studio by Chinelo Obidike. We move to some important issues as we continue with the news. United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has urged the federal government to ensure the immediate release of the 25 schoolgirls abducted in Kebbi State. It also asked the government to fully implement the 2015 Safe Schools Declaration following the latest school attack that left a vice principal dead. In a statement issued by the communications specialist for UNICEF Nigeria, Mrs. Susan Akila, the agency condemned the incident. Mrs. Akila said it was important for government at all levels and relevant agencies to prioritize the safeguarding of learning spaces. Meanwhile, the Senate has ordered a full-scale investigation into the Safe School Fund following the abduction of schoolgirls in Kebbi State. The abduction raises fresh questions about why billions of naira budgeted to secure learning environment have failed to prevent repeated attacks. Lawmakers during plenary also urged President Bola Tinubu to approve the recruitment of at least 100,000 additional military personnel to strengthen the fight against insurgency, banditry, and school-targeted violence nationwide. The upper chamber further resolved to constitute an order committee drawing members from its committees on finance, education, defense, army, and navy to probe the implementation of the Safe School program and its funding. You're on to the news at 11 and Radio Nigeria's Premier 93.5 FM. Ibadan. To stay with us. Glad to know you're still with us. The news continues. This day in 1989, the anti-apartheid activist and future president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela, was released from prison. And now to the foreign scenes. 9 people have been killed in Russian attacks in Ukraine overnight. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky made this known on his social media platforms. President Zelensky said Russia launched more than 470 drones and 47 missiles in the brazen attack. 3 districts of Ukraine's second city, Kharkiv, were hit by a massive drone attack which injured more than 30 people, including children. Meanwhile, Ukraine's Energy Ministry said power cuts are affecting a number of regions across the country. Still on the foreign scenes, both chambers of the United States Congresses have agreed to order the U.S. Justice Department to release its files on sex offender financier, Mr. Jeffrey Epstein. The House of Representatives overwhelmingly approved the measure in a 4-7-1 vote, and the Senate unanimously fast-tracked it without a formal vote. As we mark World Toilet Day today, note that cleanliness is next to godliness. Maintain good hygiene. To end the news at 11 on Radio Nigeria's Premier 93.5 FM Ibadan. Another look at the major items. The federal government has launched an emergency call center and ambulance system to provide prompt and efficient emergency medical services to residents, particularly in cases of flooding, fire outbreaks, road accidents, and other emergencies in Cross River. United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has urged the federal government to ensure the immediate release of the 25 schoolgirls abducted in Kebbi State. From the foreign scene, we reported that 9 people have been killed in Russian strikes in Ukraine overnight. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky made this known on his social media platforms. For information, call us on these numbers: 0802-334-5294 and 0803-242-9552. You can also pay us a visit at number 617 Jibo Crescent, Yagoku Quarters, or up at the Bimpe Road, Old Baggy,